Alright, this is your buddy Jim, Saw Logs Plastic Hubs. We've been out in the shop a little bit. I've got some, I'm not going to say I have free time, I've just got some little things that's been needing done. And I've got some spare time in the shop. Excuse me here a second. I've been making 2 or 3 projects here lately, and I've got some videos out there, little things I do. I tend to be more of a project guy. And I like to make a project to fix a need, I guess. You know, so that's just my style. I guess if I had a big following and needed to create content to create income, might be a different animal. But this is my other. I've got several hobbies: machining, racing, and YouTube. And that's it kind of works somewhat. They all kind of bleed together. So with all my yap running, today's project is something fairly simple. What I got in my hand is what we use on dirt track car as a mud scraper. It's basically a long aluminum tube with a handle and a scraper. This scraper, I actually made it because the original one broke. They're made sort of like an ice scraper, by the way. This is an ice scraper. Now, I live in North Carolina. We sure as heck don't use ice. We might scrape some frost or 1 or 2 times a year snow. Tom, 1 or 2 times a year. Remember that. He all the time shows pictures of his new place. Hey, so this would come from the flea market, and it had a broom handle on one end. So but not flea market, excuse me, the auction. These come across for $3 a piece. Well, who's going to buy snow scrapers in North Carolina? Dumb dirt track drivers. That's what I made it into. I knurled, this is what we're going to show today, knurled this aluminum handle to hold it. I chose aluminum because I had plenty of material. So, sit back, grab your easy chair, look out, get your buddies, your friends, your dogs, your cats, and watch me make this into a dirt track scraper. And I made 2 of them. I got nothing right here behind me because it's $3 a piece and things get lost at the dirt track. I've already done lost one of these. Just for reference, this tool's about $25 at the speed shops. They do sell them. That's what this one came from. Local speed shop. So, let's get to slinging some chips. I've got an upcoming project, and I'm going to show it. This is a mud scraper. Now, this one here, I actually made this up out of Darlin because the original one broke. We use these on the race cars. We race dirt tracks. So that's the original one. I'll lay it there in the chair. Here is an ice brush. I picked up 2 of these at the auction for the grand total of $3 a piece. So what I'm going to do is take the screws out of these, see if I can build me a mud scraper out of it. All right, I'm going to whacken this thing in half just so I have a little room to work. But I'm just going to put through the lathe and work like that. I'm going to probably actually put a center in it, support it, centering tool. This is a piece of aluminum here. It actually came out of my good friend Tug Truett's previous race car shop, where there was an old machine shop. It was laying in the floor, up in the rafters or something like that. So this is probably 6061. Just old, anodized. Of course, I keep a lot of my stock outside anyway, so it's a little bit anodized. It's got a little bit of a film. So we're going to do a little machining on it. Most of this is going to be lathe work, to be honest with you. So we'll just have to get at it. Okay, boys and girls, we got the camera up in the camera mount. Let's switch to aluminum coolant. And let's do a little bit of facing this off. I'm actually going to go ahead and let me get some stuff together and figure out what we're going to do. Okay. I've already touched off. This is 1-inch stock, so it's probably got about 200 to go. I'm going to go in here and take about 60 right out the gate. And we're going to measure it. This is the end that's going to slide up in the tubing. The aluminum tube itself is out of round. It's at least 10, 12 thousandths out of round, believe it or not. It wasn't made to be very damn accurate, excuse my language. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make it smaller to 2 sizes, which is about 805 thousandths. So basically I've got, right now I'm just a little bit over an inch. So with that cut, so basically I'm about just maybe a 0.5 thousandths over an inch. So I'm just going to make a couple of cuts. I'll bring you back. Okay, this is just another roughing cut. I'm going to allow myself, I'm hoping to be about 10 or 12 thousandths off from when I'm right here. And let's just see. I'm wanting about 805. This should be about 810 or something, you know, that nature. Well, about 820, which is 821. So we need to probably be about thousandths under for this to slide. So I'm going to be conservative, and I'm just going to take 10,000. I'm going to take about 10, 11 thousandths and just sneak up on it. I could leave a line, it's not really going to hurt none. But I'm just wanting to make sure, because okay, I'm at about 810. Let me see if I can get this. See if this is. I want this to slide in there fairly tight, so if I could press it in there, it'd be good. The one side's 814. Yeah, that's going to work. See, that's why when it's hard to tell, but that's a good fit, so that's what I'm looking for. See, I got several different sizes, so I know now kind of what to shoot for. I mean, when you're dealing with stuff like this, it ain't nowhere near accurate. You just have to kind of fit it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to knurl this, but I'm just going to cut it to clean this oxidization off. I'm just going to cut it. Go about 10 thousandths. We're just going to roll down this space. This is just to get the oxidization off of the part. Oh, now what I'm doing is I'm just doing, and I'm kind of making this up as I go along. So what I want to do here is make me a little bit of a, what I'm going to do is just to make this look different. And I'm going to have, instead of trying to get super fancy, I'm just going to come right here. Make me a little 40,000 cut right there. So I'll have a little step. Now I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm not going to, let me see if I can find another tool. I'll be right back. Now what I decided to do here, that way I can, let me just go a little longer here. I can always adjust that when I cut it off. Okay. Now we'll set up the knurling. Now what I've done is I've just got, this is just for looks, a little relief. Okay, this is the first time I'm actually using this knurling tool. Since I've modified it in another video. So we're going to see how it turns out. Now I know this is aluminum and this is cutting oil, everybody, but I just prefer to knurl with cutting oil and aluminum. It just, to me, I just get better results. And that knurling tool is sure tracking a lot prettier than it used to. Now, let's see what I've got here. Okay, I just need to go down and go back. It's just a matter. With aluminum, you can go a little harder with your knurls. I know there's formulas that you can get perfect knurls. All I'm always after is a knurl, something that looks good, feels good to the hand. You know, it's just good, consistent knurling. That's all I'm always after when I do this. I'm not trying to get absolutely perfect knurls. Know one thing, I love the way my knurling tool works now that I've done this. Oh yeah, that's what I'm looking for right there, a nice pretty knurl. And I love this loose motion out of it, that made all the difference in the world. Oh, I don't know what I've done, I left it on a long time. I'm going to go back to the video. I got you. Okay, I'm just going to face this off. Get this on center a little bit. And it's a little easy to do it this way. There you go. A little bit of a touch. I'm using my steel insert. It just tends to center do better. It just tends to do better on the center than my aluminum one. Just a little bit better finish on my center. I don't want that to be really slips. That's another little cut. And just get it nice and slick across the bottom. There we go. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Okay. Now all I got to do is mount this in there. Well, I'm going to turn another one just like it. And then we'll build it. and we'll finish building this. Since this ain't got to be too accurate, I'm just going to drill it with drill press. Basically all I need is a through hole, tap, anytime I can do anything like this with a through hole, I'll do it, because it's just, again, I'm not going to be alarmed if I'm off a hair, be it on the centers, stuff like that, neither, because all this screw is going to do is just serve to hold this in place. We're just going to use a 1032, just basically like a stove bolt or whatever you want to call it. And we're just going to tap it, get it close, and that's it. And I'm not a big fan. I could go set my tools up. This is just basically all it's got to have is a screw that's going to run straight through this thing. That's it. And I just prefer to tap these kind of holes by hand. And this is when it gets a little, especially because of aluminum, the 2 or 3 different materials and 1032 taps and stuff. So I'm gonna get me some tap magic, and I'm just gonna tap this out by hand. I actually changed my mind and drilled it out and decided to use 1/4-20. The main reason I'm just having trouble today, the screws I've got is probably cheap screws, the thread pitches don't match or something, so it just got on my nerves. So the last time, it don't matter as long as there's a screw through this darn thing to hold it with, and I've never liked them little screws if I can avoid them. So I'm putting something in there I know going to hold that sucker in there, and that's all I care about. Probably overkill. The last thing you want when you make something is it to come apart. So I'm going to just be safe than sorry and put the big tap down, put a bigger tap in it, and now I'll have a good solid connection. And that's all what I want, to make sure these are going to be abused, and used and abused, as they say. So by doing what I'm doing, I ain't got to worry about it. It'll be done right, be finished. And I don't like redoing. So tried to run them other screws in there. They didn't want to start, didn't want to run right. So I decided to fix the problem. There it is. I just took the belt sander and popped the back. For some reason, the screws I have are not good. I don't know where it's the I don't think it's the taps. I think it's the screws themselves. So this is one. I got to finish the other one, put it together, and we'll wrap this thing up. All right. This is your buddy Jim. I appreciate you coming by, stopping by Saw Logs Plastic Hubs. It's just been my pleasure to produce these machining videos. It's my pleasure to produce any video for you. Or it's the racing videos, the machining videos, or whatever. YouTube, for somebody on the smaller end, if you're not a Mr. Pete or A-Bomb or someone of that nature, this is not really a profitable position. You have to be at that top of the food chain, truthfully. Most of us, like myself, enjoy doing it. It's just a hobby within a hobby within a hobby. So I hope you're enjoying the channel. I hope you really enjoy the mix of things I do on the channel. We're doing some dirt track racing, we're doing some machining, and I think there's a little something there for different people. a lot of machinists are gearheads. People who tend to watch his channel are gearheads. So I think it fits well. I don't have the time and the energy to do both. Actually, I spend a lot of maintenance time on race cars, so trying to do the video, I can't produce videos like these other people that do racing videos, the Hunt the Front or such, because really most of our work, I do it during the day or maybe a couple nights a week. Justin comes over and helps. We send the car over to his dad and they do the bodies, and usually, you know, you're in somebody else's space. So we don't really, sometimes, you know, that's why I really can't do a dedicated racing channel. So with all that being said, I enjoy each and every one of you stopping by today. If you're so inclined, please tell your friends that love this type of content, and you can pick and choose what you watch. Hey, you don't have to subscribe, but I would sure appreciate it. I love to get them numbers up. I love to have my most popular video be something besides my air compressor blowing up. So with all that being said, I appreciate every one of you, and we will see you in that very next video when I sit down and talk with you. Y'all all have a blessed day.